I don't know if I should be telling you this, but there's a feeling inside me that refuses to be ignored. It's a feeling I've been wrestling with for days, something I never thought I'd have to confront, but here I am, standing at the edge of it. I don't even know how to explain it properly. Maybe that's why I've avoided saying it out loud for so long. You see, I found out something about you. Something that, in the moment, felt like a shock to my system. It's not the kind of thing that you can just brush aside. It wasn't something you told me directly. It wasn't a confession or a revelation that came in a way I expected. It was just a quiet truth I stumbled upon. And suddenly, everything between us felt different. I'm not sure how to even say it without feeling like I'm overstepping boundaries. But I need to say it, because it's been lingering, and I can't shake it. You have a religion. It's something I didn't know about you before. Something that sat quietly beneath the surface of everything I thought I understood about you. In a way, I wasn't prepared for the impact of that discovery. It wasn't about the religion itself, at least not entirely. It was more about what it represented. It was a mirror to my own beliefs, my own experiences, my own upbringing. I realized in that moment that I'd never truly considered how your faith shaped the way you see the world, how it has guided your actions, your choices, the way you love. And I didn't know how to feel about it at first. There was no immediate clarity, only a quiet stirring inside me that I couldn't quite place. It was a feeling of recognition, of understanding something deeper, but also a feeling of being caught off guard. You see, I've spent so much time focused on the way I view the world that I never stopped to think about how your beliefs might guide you. How could I have been so blind to something that runs so deep within you? I thought I knew you in ways that felt intimate, in ways that felt real. But this was different. This was new, and it made me feel like I was seeing you for the first time all over again. It forced me to confront my own ignorance and my own assumptions. The thing is, I never meant for that discovery to change everything. But it did, and not in the way I expected. I thought I would feel distant from you, or that the divide between us would grow wider, but instead, it made me realize how much I actually wanted to understand you, how much I wanted to learn from you, how much I wanted to respect you for who you are, beyond the surface. Love is supposed to be about acceptance, right? But accepting someone, truly accepting them, means seeing them fully. It means seeing all the parts of them. The parts they've been taught to hold dear, the parts they've fought for, the parts they've kept hidden out of fear or shame. It means not only respecting their differences but embracing them. And I can't help but wonder in this moment whether I've truly embraced all of you, or if, in some way, I've been blind to the parts of you that matter the most. There's something so beautiful about the way religion can shape a person. It's not just a set of rules or a framework to live by. It's something that touches your soul in a way that nothing else can. It's a light that guides you through darkness, a strength you draw from when the world feels heavy. And yet, I feel like I'm standing on the outside, looking in, trying to understand something so sacred to you that words often fail me. I guess what I'm trying to say is that this discovery has left me questioning more than just my understanding of you. It's made me question my own relationship with faith, with belief, with the things that have shaped my own worldview. I've spent so much of my life believing that my way was the only way, that my experiences were the right ones. And now I'm faced with the reality that what I've known has always been just one part of a much bigger picture. But here's the thing I can't quite wrap my head around. How do we move forward from here? How do I move forward, knowing that I've been living in a way that's been, at times, blind to what you hold dear? Do I just accept this new reality and move on, pretending like everything is the same? Or do I have to confront the uncomfortable truth that I've been missing something all along? I don't know where this will take us. But I do know that I can't ignore what I've learned. I can't unsee the way your beliefs have shaped you. I can't ignore the way it's affected the way I feel about you. Not because I feel distant, but because I feel closer in a way that's both uncomfortable and beautiful. I feel like I'm seeing you, really seeing you, for the first time. I'm not sure what happens next, but I do know that this is a moment of truth for me. And I want to be honest with you, even though this honesty feels like a weight. I want to share this because I know I can't walk through this without bringing it into the light. I want to hear your thoughts on this, to know how you feel about what I've discovered and how we move forward from here. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there? And if you feel like sharing this with someone who might understand, feel free to do so. I just want to know that I'm not the only one feeling this shift inside of me. I've spent the past few days trying to understand what happened when I discovered your religion. I can't help but replay the moment in my mind, trying to process how a single revelation could have changed so much between us. It wasn't a shocking revelation in the way some might think. Not something that shattered everything we've built, but it was undeniably significant. It felt like I had been walking through a door with my eyes closed, only to realize that there was a whole world I had never seen before, a world that you had always inhabited. I'm still grappling with it, still trying to make sense of it. I think about the way I felt when I first realized it, and I wonder if I was too quick to react. But the truth is I didn't know what to feel at first. It wasn't fear, not exactly. It was more like a soft kind of panic, a rush of unfamiliar emotions, all vying for attention. It made me realize something important, though I have been living my life with so many assumptions about how love works, about what it should look like, that I never stopped to ask myself what it would mean to love someone whose experience of the world is shaped by something so different from my own. But here's the thing, that difference doesn't scare me, not in the way I thought it might. I was afraid it would. I imagined it would create distance, that it would pull us apart. But it didn't. Instead, I realized that this discovery is not something to be feared, it's something to be respected, it's something to honor, even if it challenges the way I thought about love and relationships. The fact that you are so deeply rooted in your faith, it's not something I should shy away from. It's a part of who you are, a part that I need to learn to understand. And so, I found myself reflecting on what this means for us. I've always thought that love transcends everything, that it's the one thing that's truly universal. But now I see that love isn't about erasing differences, it's about learning to respect them. It's about being willing to sit in discomfort, to wrestle with the parts of yourself that don't fit neatly into the picture you thought you were painting. Love isn't about agreeing on everything. It's about accepting each other fully, flaws and all. I find myself asking, how do we move forward from here? What does this discovery mean for us, for our connection? And more importantly, what does it mean for me? For so long, I thought love was about finding someone who mirrored you, someone who shared the same beliefs, the same views, the same experiences. But now, I see that love can be so much more. It can be about two people coming from entirely different places and finding common ground in their differences. I think about the times we've spent together, the conversations we've had, the way I've always felt this quiet understanding between us, even when we haven't said everything that's on our minds. And now I wonder, how much of that understanding was shaped by your faith? How much of who you are, at your core, comes from the beliefs you hold so deeply? I've never really asked you that, not in those terms. I've always known you as someone who's kind, thoughtful, and deeply compassionate, but I never stopped to think about the foundation of those qualities. I never stopped to consider how much your faith has shaped your character, your decisions, the way you view the world. It's a humbling realization, one that makes me feel smaller, not in a bad way, but in a way that helps me see the enormity of what's at stake here. Because this isn't just about me understanding your faith, it's about me understanding you fully. It's about me realizing that I don't get to have all the answers. That love isn't about me being right all the time. It's about me being open to the ways you experience the world, even when they're different from my own. There's a quiet beauty in that, in the realization that we can learn from each other, that love doesn't require uniformity, it requires respect. It requires patience. It requires the willingness to dive deep into the parts of someone else's life that make you uncomfortable, and to come out their side with a greater understanding of who they are. But here's the part that still feels difficult for me to accept. I've always been someone who values my own beliefs and experiences so deeply that I never considered how they might be different from someone else's. I've always believed that love should be this all-encompassing force, that it should just wash away any differences. And maybe, in some ways, it can. But what I've learned is that love also requires us to hold space for those differences. It asks us to honor them, to listen without judgment, to be present in the discomfort of not always agreeing. And so, here I am, standing at this crossroads. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know how this discovery will shape our relationship. But what I do know is that I want to understand you more deeply, even if that means stepping into areas of your life that I've never truly explored. I want to respect the parts of you that are sacred, the parts of you that have shaped you into the person I care about so much. And maybe in the process, I'll learn something about myself too. Maybe I'll learn to love more fully, more openly, more freely. Maybe I'll discover that love isn't about sameness, it's about honoring the spaces where we differ and finding ways to weave those differences together into something beautiful. Where are you watching from, and what time is it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, on how you see love and faith intersecting, if you feel comfortable sharing. And if you think someone else might understand this story, feel free to share it. I've been thinking about what it means to truly understand someone. Not in the way you understand their habits, their likes, their dislikes, but to understand the essence of who they are, the foundation upon which they've built their life. I think in some ways I've been blind to that, or at least I've taken it for granted. I've thought I knew you, I've believed I understood the depth of your soul, and I've always felt this connection between us that felt undeniable, natural. But now, with everything that's come to light, I realize just how much of you I've been missing. The other day, I found myself staring at the same information I'd known about you for a while, but suddenly, it felt different. Your faith, your religion, it's been a quiet undercurrent in your life, something that I had never fully understood or truly acknowledged. And when I finally saw it clearly, I couldn't help but feel a shift in everything I thought I knew about us. It wasn't a sudden change. It wasn't like a light bulb turning on, but more like the moment when you realize you've been reading the same page over and over, and only now do the words start to make sense. It wasn't that I didn't know your religion was important to you. I saw the small moments, the quiet gestures, the way your eyes softened when you spoke about it. But I never asked myself how it shaped who you are, how it guided your decisions, or how it built the strength that I see in you every day. I never truly understood the weight of it, the comfort it gives you, the peace it offers you. And now, knowing what I know, I can't help but wonder how I missed that part of you for so long. I'm not sure why it took this long for me to fully see it. Maybe because, in some way, I've always been more focused on the surface, on the parts of you that are easier to grasp. The way you smile, the way you laugh, the way you hold yourself in a room. I've always admired those things, but I never took the time to ask myself where they come from. And when I finally discovered the role your faith plays in shaping all of it, it was like uncovering a hidden layer, one that I hadn't even realized was there. I'm not going to lie. It was overwhelming at first. I've always seen religion as something personal, something deeply private. I've never felt the need to force my beliefs on others, and I've never expected anyone to see the world the way I do. But when I learned more about your religion, it felt like everything shifted. It wasn't about the religion itself, per se, but about what it represents for you. It represents a part of you that I hadn't fully understood. It's your connection to something bigger than yourself, something that guides you, comforts you, and shapes the way you approach life. And in that moment, I had to ask myself, how much of this have I truly respected? How much have I fully understood about the most important thing in your life? I think about the way faith influences the way you love. It's not just about the rules or the practices. It's about the values that come with it, the compassion, the patience, the humility. I see all of that in you, and I admire it deeply. But I've also realized that I've never fully acknowledged where it comes from. I've never taken the time to ask you about the beliefs that shape your decisions, your actions, your heart. And now, in the face of this new understanding, I can't help but feel like I've been missing something incredibly important. It's not just about accepting the things I already knew about you. It's about learning to respect the things I didn't understand. It's about accepting the parts of you that are shaped by faith, by your upbringing, by the experiences that have molded you into the person you are today. And in doing that, I'm realizing that I have to let go of my assumptions. I can't just love the parts of you that are easy for me to love. I have to love all of you. I have to learn to respect your faith, not as something separate from me, but as something that is as much a part of you as anything else. I've spent so much time trying to understand what love is, trying to figure out how it works, trying to understand the rules. But what I'm starting to realize is that love isn't about figuring out the formula. It's about learning to accept the complexities, the contradictions, the differences, and the parts of someone that you don't always understand right away. It's about showing up for them, even when their truth challenges your own. It's about seeing their soul and meeting them where they are, without judgment, without expectation. And that's where I find myself now, standing in front of something I didn't expect, something that's forcing me to rethink my approach to love. It's not a bad thing. It's just uncomfortable, in the best possible way. It's making me realize that love is so much more than what we've built together. It's about respecting the foundation that exists within each of us, even the parts we don't always share. So here I am, asking myself, how do I move forward from here? How do I honor your faith while still being true to my own beliefs, my own understanding of the world? It's a question that doesn't have an easy answer, but I know one thing for sure. I want to try. I want to understand. I want to be there for you, fully, without reservation. I don't know where this journey will take us. I don't know how this will change everything between us. But I do know that it has already shifted something in me. I'm not sure if this is a turning point or just a quiet moment of realization, but I feel it deeply. And I want to explore it with you, not because I think we need to fix anything, but because I want to know you more fully. I want to understand the parts of you that I haven't yet discovered. I've been reflecting on everything for days now. How do you explain something like this? How do you speak about the way your perception of someone can change in the quietest moments, when it doesn't feel like an explosion but a slow shift? The discovery of your faith, it wasn't a bombshell, not like something that would rock everything, but it made me realize how deeply layered you are, and how much I still have to understand about you. It's strange, isn't it? How we can think we know someone, think we've unlocked the depths of who they are, only to discover there are parts we've missed entirely. Your faith wasn't something you'd hidden from me, not by any means. It was just there, in the background. Quiet, steady. But I never truly took the time to recognize how it has shaped you, how it has shaped the way you move through the world, how it has given you strength, guidance, and peace. And once I saw it clearly, I found myself looking at you in a way that I hadn't before. It's like a new lens was suddenly applied, and everything became sharper, more defined, but also more complex. I've always admired you for your calm, your patience, your kindness, but now I'm realizing just how much of that is rooted in something far deeper than I had understood. I can see it now. It's not just who you are on the surface. It's everything beneath it, the way your faith gives you a foundation, a sense of purpose, something that sustains you through every challenge. I always thought that I admired you for the person you were, but now I see how much I've underestimated the power of your beliefs, the strength they give you to face the world in a way that is so full of grace. And then, of course, I had to confront my own feelings about this. I've never been one to judge others for their faith. In fact, I've always believed that we should all be allowed to choose our own path, to walk our own journey. But when it came to you, when it came to someone I care about so deeply, I realized that I had my own assumptions, my own ideas of what love should look like. I had been thinking about it all wrong. I was too focused on what we shared, on the parts of us that aligned, and I hadn't taken the time to appreciate the beauty of what makes us different. Love, I've come to understand, isn't about being the same. It's not about thinking the same way, believing the same things. It's about recognizing those differences and choosing to love them anyway. It's about seeing each other clearly, fully, and without judgment. And when I realized that, when I understood that love was not about us being identical in every way, but about us accepting each other as we are, the weight of it all shifted. It became lighter. It became more real. I think that's what scares me the most. How much I have yet to learn about you, about your world, your beliefs. How much I still don't fully understand. And that's not a bad thing. It's just humbling. I don't want to be someone who assumes they know everything about the person they love. I don't want to be someone who overlooks the depth of what makes you who you are. And this realization about your faith has made me want to understand you more deeply, to see you with clearer eyes, to respect the parts of you that I never took the time to fully appreciate, but it also leaves me with questions. If we are so different in the ways we view the world, how do we make that work? How do we move forward when our core beliefs are so unique? I've always thought that love could bridge any gap, that it could overcome any obstacle, but now I see that it's not always that simple. It's not about erasing our differences. It's about finding a way to honor them, to respect them, to create a space where they don't have to be a source of division, but of connection. And that's where I find myself now, in this space of trying to understand how our differences can bring us closer, not push us apart. I think about you when you're alone, when you're in moments of quiet reflection, when you're praying or contemplating. I wonder what those moments look like for you. I wonder how your faith shapes your thoughts, your decisions, the way you approach your life. I wish I could be a part of that, to see the world through your eyes, to understand how you navigate everything with the calm that I admire so much. But I know that's something I can't fully experience. It's something that's deeply personal to you, and all I can do is respect it. The thing is, I'm not sure if I'm even asking the right questions anymore. I've been so focused on what I thought we needed to share in order to make this work, but now I realize it's not about that. It's about me learning how to be present with your truth, even when it's something I don't fully understand. It's about being open to the ways you experience the world, without judgment, without fear. And that's not easy. It's uncomfortable. But it's also incredibly beautiful. I want to know what it's like for you to live with such a deep connection to your faith. How do you carry it with you every day? What does it give you in the quiet moments when the world feels heavy? I want to know those things because I want to understand you. And I want to share in the parts of your soul that I've never touched before, even if that means I have to step out of my own comfort zone. I think the most important thing I've learned through all of this is that love isn't about trying to change someone to fit your image of them. It's about seeing them for who they are, even when it's different from what you expected, even when it challenges you, even when it makes you uncomfortable. And in that, love grows, it becomes real, it becomes honest. So, where do we go from here? I don't know. But what I do know is that this moment, this discovery, has made me want to be more open, more honest, more present with you. It's made me want to see you fully, to understand you deeply, to love you not just for what we share, but for everything that makes you who you are. I keep finding myself circling back to the same thought. How do we bridge the gap between two worlds that seem so different? How do we reconcile the things that make us who we are, even when those things feel like they're coming from completely different places? When I first discovered your religion, there was this moment of quiet realization. It wasn't a loud, dramatic epiphany. It wasn't like a sudden revelation that changed everything in an instant. It was more like a door opening slowly, revealing a world I hadn't fully considered. And that's the thing, isn't it? I didn't fully consider it. I didn't take the time to truly understand what it means to be you, to hold your beliefs so deeply, to carry them with you through every moment. I think I assumed that love, in its purest form, was enough to erase differences. I believed that if we loved each other enough, everything else would fall away, that our differences wouldn't matter. But what I'm starting to realize, slowly but surely, is that it's not about erasing those differences. It's about respecting them. It's about seeing the parts of you that have shaped who you are, and acknowledging them with reverence. I won't lie. When I first learned about your religion, I felt this rush of emotion I wasn't prepared for. It wasn't fear, but it was something close to it. A kind of anxiety and uncertainty that crept in. It wasn't because I disagreed with your beliefs. It wasn't because I thought they were wrong. It was because I had this feeling deep down that I hadn't done enough to understand them, that I hadn't done enough to understand you. And that realization that I hadn't fully seen you hurt. It left me with this strange mix of admiration and guilt, because I realized just how much I didn't know. You know, the more I think about it, the more I realize that love isn't a simple thing. It isn't just about sharing common interests or values or ways of thinking. It's about seeing the complexity of someone and choosing to stay, even when things get complicated. Choosing to understand them, even when you don't fully grasp every part of their life. And it's about letting them hold their truth without feeling the need to change it, without trying to mold it into something that fits your own worldview. I think that's what I'm grappling with now. The idea that love isn't about smoothing over differences, but about learning how to hold space for them, to honor them. And it's not easy. It feels uncomfortable, especially when you realize that you've never asked the right questions before. When you realize that you've been focused on the things you have in common, and you haven't taken the time to learn about the parts of someone that make them who they are at their core. I keep thinking about what you must have gone through to get to this place in your faith. The way it has shaped your decisions, your actions, your sense of purpose. I think about the quiet strength I see in you every day, and I wonder how much of that strength comes from your connection to your faith. How much of it is built on the foundation of something that I didn't fully understand until now. And now that I've seen it, now that I've acknowledged it, I can't unsee it. I can't go back to the way I was before. And it's not because I want to distance myself from you. Quite the opposite. It's because I realize that this discovery is part of what makes you who you are. It's not just something that's a part of your life, it's a part of you. It's woven into everything you do, everything you believe in, everything you are. And yet, I can't help but wonder, what do I do with all of this now? How do we move forward from here? I can't ignore the fact that we come from different places, that our beliefs are different, that we've walked different paths. But at the same time, I can't deny the connection I feel with you, the bond that has grown between us. I can't deny the way I look at you and feel this sense of admiration, this deep respect for the person you've become, the person you are. I think what I'm trying to say is this: I don't want to love you despite your faith. I don't want to love you in a way that tries to overlook it or diminish it. I want to love you because of it. I want to love you with all of the parts of you that make you who you are, including the ones that I don't fully understand. I want to learn to see your faith not as something that sets us apart, but as something that adds to the depth of who you are, something that I can learn to respect and admire. But it's hard. It's hard to step into a space where I feel like I don't have all the answers. It's hard to acknowledge that there's so much about you I don't yet understand. And yet, I feel like that's the most important thing I can do right now. To admit that I don't know everything, to admit that I need to learn, and to be open to the ways you experience the world. To be open to the parts of you that I've never fully appreciated before. I don't know what comes next. I don't know how this will change things between us. But I do know that I'm not afraid of this discovery anymore. I'm not afraid of the differences between us. I'm not afraid of the unknowns. Because, in the end, it's not about agreeing on everything. It's about finding a way to respect each other's truths, to honor each other's experiences, to love each other despite the things that make us different. Where are you watching from, and what time is it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, on how you see faith and love working together, if you feel comfortable sharing. And if you think someone else might find this story meaningful, feel free to share it. I still can't shake the quiet shift in me, the way I now look at you, not just with affection, but with a deeper respect, a deeper curiosity. The discovery of your religion didn't just change the way I see you, it's changing the way I see myself too. Before, I would have told you that I was open-minded, that I was someone who could love freely, love deeply, without judgment. But when it came to you, when it came to your beliefs, I realized just how much I had left untouched, how much I assumed, how much I took for granted. And that's the most humbling part of all of this. The realization that I've been in love with a version of you that wasn't complete. I've loved you for your kindness, your humor, your strength, the way you move through the world with such grace. But I never fully understood the foundation of that strength until now. I never took the time to understand where your calm comes from, where your clarity of mind originates. I've always admired your sense of peace, but now I see it differently. It's not just something you possess, it's something you draw from. And I realize I've been missing that part of you. The spiritual, sacred part of you that has shaped you into who you are today. This isn't just about religion, not really. It's about belief. It's about what anchors you, what gives you hope, what makes you whole. And when I realized that I didn't know that part of your life, I felt like I had been walking beside you, but not truly walking with you. It was a painful realization, one that made me feel smaller, more vulnerable. I had thought I understood you, but there were whole pieces of your soul that I hadn't even touched. I'm not going to lie, the discovery was jarring at first. I wasn't expecting it, not in the way it unfolded. I was surprised, not because your faith felt foreign to me, but because I had taken for granted that I understood your core, your beliefs, your inner world. The truth is, I hadn't been asking the right questions. I had been so caught up in my own understanding of love, my own version of what it means to be in a relationship, that I never stopped to ask how your beliefs shaped your love, shaped your life. And when I realized that, it left me with this feeling of guilt for not asking sooner, guilt for not seeing you fully. But guilt is not a productive emotion. It doesn't move us forward. So, instead of focusing on that, I'm focusing on what this discovery means for me, for us. I'm realizing that love doesn't mean we need to be the same. I thought for so long that love was about finding someone who shares your values, who walks in step with you in every way. But now I see that love is about honoring what makes us different and choosing to love each other because of those differences, not in spite of them. I've been wrestling with this idea of how to move forward, how to honor your beliefs while staying true to mine. Because here's the truth, your faith isn't something I can fully understand, at least not in the way you do. I can't walk your path. I can't feel the peace it gives you in the same way. no matter how much I want to. But what I can do is respect it. What I can do is listen, learn, and understand the importance of it in your life. I can honor that it is a huge part of what makes you you. And in doing that, I can love you more fully. I know there will be times when we don't see eye to eye, when our different beliefs might feel like a wall between us. And I won't pretend that those moments will be easy. But I also know that we don't have to agree on everything to love each other. We don't have to share every belief to share a life. But we do have to respect each other's truths. And that's what I'm learning to do. I'm learning that love isn't about erasing the differences between us, it's about embracing them. There's something beautifully humbling about this realization. It's made me feel smaller, yes, but it's also made me feel more connected to you than ever before. Because now, I don't just love the surface, level parts of you. I love the depth, the sacredness, the quiet strength that comes from your faith. I love the way it has shaped you into the person I admire so much. And even though I don't understand it completely, I want to learn. I want to walk beside you, not just on the easy paths, but on the ones that challenge me to grow. I think, if we're being honest with each other, that this discovery has made me question myself too. It's made me think about what I truly believe in, what anchors me in this world. I've spent so much time thinking I had everything figured out, but now I realize that I haven't even begun to fully explore the depths of my own heart. And maybe that's what this discovery is meant to teach me. How to truly listen, how to truly understand. How to love without reservation. And then I think about you, about the love I feel for you. Not just the love I felt in the easy moments, but the deeper love that comes from seeing someone fully, from understanding them more completely. It's a love that doesn't need to fix anything, but a love that simply wants to honor who you are at your core. It's the kind of love that says, I don't need to change you. I just need to understand you. I don't know what comes next for us. I don't know how this discovery will change our relationship, but I do know one thing: I want to be present for it. I want to be here learning, growing, loving, respecting. And I want to be open to what that means for us. Where are you watching from, and what time is it? I'm curious, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, on how faith and love intersect for you. If you feel comfortable sharing. If you think someone else might relate to this, feel free to share it. It's strange how one moment, one realization, can shift everything. And yet, I find myself here again trying to make sense of everything that has unfolded. You know, I've always thought that love was about finding someone who matched your rhythm, someone who echoed your thoughts and mirrored your values. I thought that was the foundation. But now, I'm realizing that the true foundation of love is not built on similarities. It's built on differences. The places where we diverge, where we don't understand each other completely, where our beliefs and experiences don't align, those are the places where love really grows. I've spent so much of my life thinking that love should feel seamless, that it should be easy, that it should be a perfect harmony between two people. But what I'm learning, what I'm understanding now, is that love isn't about perfection. It's about accepting the imperfections. It's about learning to navigate the spaces between us, the areas where we don't understand each other fully, but still choose to walk forward together. And it's in those spaces that I find a new depth of connection with you. It's not in spite of our differences, but because of them, that my respect and love for you have deepened. And I find myself reflecting more and more on the way your faith shapes you. It's a part of you that I had never fully understood, and honestly, I've been afraid to ask the deeper questions. What I've realized is that love, real love, isn't about avoiding discomfort or brushing past the things we don't understand. It's about leaning into those things, not shying away from them. It's about accepting that there are parts of you I may never fully grasp, but that doesn't mean I don't see their value. Your faith is something sacred to you. It's not something I can own, but it's something I can honor. And in honoring that part of you, I find a deeper respect, a deeper admiration. I think about all the times I've seen you move through life with a calm that seemed unshakable. And now I understand where that calm comes from. It comes from a place deeper than I could have imagined, a place that's rooted in your connection to something greater than yourself. It's humbling, really. I've spent my life trying to understand the world through logic, through analysis, through the lens of my own experience. But now, I see that there's a depth to you that I couldn't have reached without seeing your faith. It's like I've been reading the same chapter of a book over and over, and now I'm finally reading the next page. But that's where the challenge lies, isn't it? In accepting that we come from such different places, it's not easy to step into a space where your beliefs challenge my own. And I think that's what makes this discovery so difficult for me. It's not about disagreeing, it's about recognizing the depth of what we're each carrying. Your beliefs are sacred to you, and I respect that, but they also highlight the differences between us. And those differences don't scare me as much as they did before. They don't push me away, instead, they pull me in, but not in the way I expected. When I think about love, I don't want to love you out of convenience, out of comfort. I don't want a love that's simple and easy. I want a love that's deep, that's rooted in understanding, in respect, in the willingness to grow. And I'm realizing that growth isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it challenges everything you thought you knew. But that's what makes it beautiful. I think about all the ways our lives could have been different, the ways we could have avoided this discomfort. But I don't want to avoid it. I want to learn from it. I want to walk through it with you. And I want you to know that I don't expect you to change for me. I don't want you to. I want you to remain true to who you are, to the beliefs that shape you, that give you strength. And I want to find a way to love you not in spite of those differences, but because of them. This journey, this moment we're sharing, isn't about finding answers, it's about being comfortable with the questions. It's about sitting in the uncertainty, in the discomfort, and realizing that love doesn't always need to have everything figured out. Love is about being present, about seeing the other person fully, even when you don't fully understand them. It's about choosing to stay, to grow, to learn, even when the path isn't clear. I think about the future, and I realize that whatever it holds, whatever comes next, I want it to be with you. Not because I have all the answers, not because I fully understand everything about your beliefs or your faith, but because I want to walk through this life with someone who challenges me, someone who makes me question what I thought I knew, someone who brings me to a deeper understanding of love. And I know that you are that person. I know that together, we can build something real, something beautiful, something that honors both of us for who we truly are. So, as we move forward, I'm not looking for a perfect resolution. I'm not looking for us to suddenly have everything figured out. What I'm looking for is to keep moving forward together, to keep learning, to keep growing. To love each other fully, without expectation, without judgment, but with deep respect for the paths we've each walked. And if that's the kind of love we can build, then I believe we are stronger than any difference between us. Because love isn't about eliminating those differences. It's about seeing them, respecting them, and finding strength in them. Where are you watching from, and what time is it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. If you feel comfortable sharing, I'd love to know how you've navigated your own journey of faith and love, especially when those two paths don't always align perfectly. If you think this story could resonate with someone else, feel free to share it. I've been sitting with this realization for days now, letting it sink in slowly. The discovery of your faith, the depth of it, has shaken something inside me. Not in a way that's uncomfortable or unwelcome, but in a way that makes me think harder about everything, about love, about faith, about what it means to truly see someone for who they are. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that this isn't a shift I can ignore. It's too important. I've always believed that love is about seeing someone, truly seeing them. Not just the parts that are easy to love, but all of them. The messy, complex, sometimes difficult parts too. And I thought I had that. I thought I understood you, at least in the way that I thought mattered. But now, I see how much more there is. I see how much your faith has shaped you in ways I never fully understood before, and I feel this overwhelming urge to honor that part of you. Not because I have to, not because it's expected of me, but because it's who you are. And when you truly care about someone, you can't just love the surface. You have to love everything beneath it too. I won't lie to you, I felt a certain kind of fear, but it's not the fear I thought I would feel. It's not the fear of difference, not the fear of something that divides us. It's a different kind of fear, a fear that I haven't done enough to really understand you, a fear that I've been loving you in a way that's incomplete. And it stings, I won't pretend it doesn't. But this is not a fear that will make me pull away. It's the kind of fear that makes me want to lean in, to learn more, to understand better. I've spent so much of my life thinking that my own perspective, my own understanding of the world, was the right one. But you've shown me something different. Your faith has given you strength and clarity, and I've seen the peace it brings you. And that, in itself, has made me reflect on my own relationship with the world. It's made me ask myself the hard questions about what I truly believe in, about what anchors me when the world feels uncertain. What I'm starting to realize is that love isn't about getting someone to believe what you believe or see the world the way you do. It's about respecting the space between you, the space where your beliefs don't always align. It's about learning to sit in the discomfort of those differences and still choosing to walk forward together, hand in hand, and that's the part that excites me. It's not about erasing our differences, it's about learning to celebrate them. There's a kind of beauty in the way we've both been shaped by different beliefs, different life experiences. I've come to see that love doesn't require us to be the same. It doesn't require us to have all the same answers. What it requires is respect. Respect for the other person's journey, for the things that have shaped them, for the things they hold sacred. And in that respect, we build something deeper, something real. I've realized, too, that my love for you isn't contingent on us agreeing on everything. It's not about us walking the same path. It's about understanding that your path is your own, just as mine is my own, and that love allows us to meet in the middle, even when the paths diverge. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Love is not a straight line. It's not a neatly paved road. It's full of bends, of moments where we stumble, of places where we have to stop and look at each other, unsure of what's next. But love is what keeps us moving forward, even when the road isn't clear. I can't deny the part of me that wants to understand everything about you, to learn every detail, to be able to explain you to others in a way that makes sense. But what I'm learning is that some things can't be explained in simple terms. Some things are meant to be felt, meant to be experienced, meant to be lived. Your faith is one of those things. It's not something I can reduce to a set of facts or beliefs. It's a part of you that is lived and breathed every day. And what I'm realizing now is that my love for you has to be big enough to hold that, even when I don't fully understand it. And yet, I don't want you to think that this discovery has made me question us or our future. If anything, it's made me want to move forward with more intention, more clarity, more respect. I want to understand the parts of you I've missed, and I want to build something with you that honors every aspect of who you are. The faith that has shaped you, the person you are today, it deserves to be seen. And I want to be the person who sees it. I want to be the person who stands beside you, not just as someone who loves you, but as someone who respects the things that matter to you most. I know we're not the same, and I know that's okay. I've realized that love isn't about sameness. It's about how we choose to respect each other's differences. It's about the way we can learn from each other, and grow, and build something together, even when we don't have all the answers. And that's where I am now. I'm not looking for all the answers. I'm looking for understanding. I'm looking for a love that can hold space for both of us, for all that we are, for all that we've yet to learn. So, where do we go from here? I don't know. But I do know this: I want to walk forward with you. I want to understand the pieces of you that I haven't yet seen. I want to be open, not just to your faith, but to the way it shapes your love, your strength, your character. And in doing that, I want to love you more fully. Where are you watching from? And what time is it? I'd love to know your thoughts on this, especially if you've ever experienced something similar, when love and faith don't align exactly, but still make sense. If you feel like this could resonate with someone else, feel free to share. When I discovered your faith, it was like stepping into a space I hadn't prepared for. And at first, I wasn't sure what to do with it. It wasn't because your faith is wrong or something I can't accept. No, it was because it made me realize how little I had truly understood about you. It made me see how much I had overlooked in my own attempt to love you. How much I hadn't yet discovered about the deepest parts of your soul. I've spent so much of my life thinking love should feel seamless, like it's all about finding someone who shares your values, who moves through life with the same rhythm. But now I see that's not what love is. Love is about choosing to see the person in front of you, in all their complexity, and choosing to accept them fully. It's not about agreeing on everything. It's about finding common ground, even when you stand in very different places. And I know that now. I know that to love you truly means to understand and respect the sacred parts of you, even the parts that challenge me. And so, here I am, looking at you through new eyes, not because you've changed, but because I've learned to see you more clearly. I see how your faith has shaped you, how it has given you a quiet strength, a foundation to stand on even when the world feels chaotic. I see how it guides you, how it shapes your decisions, your actions, your kindness. And I respect that more than I ever have before. But it's also made me question myself. How much of my own worldview have I held onto because it was easy? How much of what I believe has been shaped by comfort, by the familiar? And what does it mean to love someone when they have a truth that's so different from your own? It's a question I'm still grappling with. But what I've come to realize is that love doesn't require us to erase our differences. It doesn't require us to become the same. It requires us to honor each other, to stand in the gap between us and respect that there is beauty in what makes us different.